Hey guys, this is Wiley Y here again with one of my Counter-Strike Global Offensive Beta videos. This one's going to be a little bit different again. This is going to be just on the map DE nuke again, but it's going to be just concentrating on different spam spots and places that you want to just kind of like fire a couple of rounds and places where you can shoot people through things. So I'm going to get started outside because it's probably the easiest to get. Quickly, I'm just going to point out that these wooden boxes are spammable. They're fairly weak, and you don't want to be just standing behind them expecting them to give you lots of cover. I'll quickly show you what I mean. I need an AWP for this. So, oops, that's an AK. I have an AWP. Anyway, if you're, let's say, peeking this kind of angle, waiting for the AWPer to come out from the right, and you miss him, or you're peeking this angle and you miss him, and you go back behind this, he can hit you quite easily because this box is a lot smaller than what it was in Source. So if I stand here, you can see how much that's going to cover me. Not very. It's a good chance that all he has to do is spam the middle of it and it's going to hit you. Even standing here, might hit your left shoulder, or standing here, it'll hit your right shoulder. And if he aims high enough, he could hit your head, and that's probably going to be an instant kill. I can't confirm that. I can't tell you exactly how much damage is taken away by spamming through these spots, because it's very hard to find. I haven't actually got access to, let's say, a private server where I can try it out with mates and see how much the damage reduction is. So if you want to give me information, anybody wants to lend that, I'll be glad to do it. But anyway, if let's say aim at this wall and go behind, shoot that, you can see it go straight through. Oops, shot a second time. But you don't want to be hiding behind these wooden boxes too much. The other spam spots for, let's say, outside would be just quickly. Let's say the AWPer ran across here, aimed like this, missed his shot outside and went in here expecting to be rushed, or he's gone flashed or smoked out of it and he's just gone behind here waiting for anybody that comes along here to go in for a bit of cover. You might want to just spam through here. It'll get him in that kind of area. But be warned, if you're standing, let's say, here at times, which can happen. Let's say you've been trying to pick the guy in main at this angle, and then you've just tucked in a little bit for a little bit. Don't worry about those little things that I'm spam. I constantly press buttons just for the sake of pressing buttons. But let's say you're standing there anyway. Be a bit warned, if there's a guy in this kind of Mac building, this kind of warehouse, he can spam through that kind of spot there and it'll get you. So just be warned. The same goes for, let's say, if you're standing next to red, you can spam through there. You can also spam through there from outside. You can spam through this spot angle here and it'll get him on the other side. A couple other things are all this metal kind of sheeting on this hut is spammable, so spamming this kind of angle might get the guy just inside there. If he's, let's say, camping in the little corner in there, you might want to spam somewhere like this. Other kind of angles would be, let's say, like in here, like so. Other angles spamming from outside, roughly around here, I think it is. And the same goes for, let's say, there. I'll explain about why I'm aiming so far in. I'll explain that in another when I get up outside on the roof. But you don't want to be aiming, let's say, here. You want to be aiming a good bit in. And if we go up, that should get the guys standing in the corners. Now I'll explain why it kind of looks deceiving, but later. So all these wooden boxes outside are spammable, as you can see. All the metal sheeting on the outside there is spammable. All through crows, you can spam the guy in crows there. If there's a guy behind these wooden boxes, you can spam him too. Let's say he's trying to up the angle, I shall show you now in a second. Let's say he's standing on this box like so, up in the angle, or he's using it for cover, kind of peeking this angle. You can up him through this. All this kind of metal sheeting here is spammable again, just like the other ones. I need another AK. Be warned that you can now shoot a lot easier through crows like so. You can see the kind of spam marks I'll show now. You can spam through that so much easier than you used to be able to in Source. If you just look at how thick it is, it's not as thick as it used to be, the kind of floor. So you can spam through all here. So be warned if you're playing crows, that is spammable now. I'm just going to quickly go into upper because that's where most of these spam things are. There is an angle which I'll show you in a sec later, going through here to get the guys in ramp, but that's a very risky angle. Let's say you're playing crows, okay? You're looking at the hut entrance, and next thing you're getting hit, and you're like, oh geez, where am I getting hit? And you see the little bullet marks coming from here. There's a guy on the roof. If we quickly no clip out, there could be a guy trying to spam through this angle here. You can spam through this angle to get the guy in crows, but you will obviously be standing on the roof, not no clipping like I am. You can spam him back, aim slightly lower than what you think. You might think he's that high, but remember, the roof on the outside is actually lower than, let's say, that, so it's about here. So aim maybe around there, and you should be able to get him around the head area. The same goes for this spot here. If you're playing here, you don't, and you're getting hit through this thing, spam him back, or just get out of there, whichever you feel like. I'd more than likely just get out of there. It's not worth wasting the bullets, especially because you might be reloading while the guy comes through the door. But that's just the little things to be wary of. If you're playing this kind of angle here for the hut entrance, or hut door, whatever you like to call it, you can get the guys, if you hear them jumping around on the vent on T roof, getting ready to do skylight flashes, spam them higher than what you'd normally expect, which is roughly there. You'd think maybe there, but it's a lot higher than what you think. If you kind of come around here opposite this blue thing and kind of go like that, you can kind of get them maybe a bit higher again, guys. You can kind of get them as they're trying to jump onto the vent. If they're missing their jump, you can shoot them through that direction. Now, a couple of other angles would be, let's say, if you hear people boosting, like a common thing if I come out is people will stand here boosting up here, get up here and onto the kind of barrel here, which used to be known as yellow in source. Now, you can spam through the opposite direction here, going through this direction, which if they're on the yellow will hit them. I need another AK. You can see it comes through there like so. If they're standing, let's say here, they'll get hit maybe. So the same goes to the opposite directions. You can spam through the opposite directions too, just like you can. Well, it's pretty obvious you should be able to spam through the opposite directions. Now, as I'm out here quickly, to get the guy in the corner on the rafter, let's say if you're not on yellow, this guy standing here. Now you can see this blue girder here. Now I'll explain why what happens with that. And this goes for the other places outside. What happens is you sometimes think that this is the edge of the wall, but it's actually this, right? And then you've got the blue thing, the kind of girder that I showed you, and then he's next to that. So that's why you're spamming through here rather than, let's say, there. I know it kind of sounds obvious and most people know this, but some people don't. You'd want to be spamming, let's say, a bit further left, and that's the reason why. And it's the same reason for outside why. It's because the blue little girder thing pushes them in further. Quickly going back into upper, I'm just going to show you a couple of spam spots for off the rafters into the hut. This kind of angle here, roughly around this area here, well, kind of messing up, but this area here gets the guys kind of in hut. You might want to spam through there or there, depending roughly where they are. If somebody calls it, like they're next to the door, you can spam through there, or next to the window, you can spam through there. This area here gets dark spot. Gets it the inside hut. If you kind of aim yourself up with the blue thing here, aim for the middle of the hut, like so. If we kind of no clip through, that gets the kind of dark spot there, as you can see. So that's kind of a handy one to know. You can also spam through squeaky as you used to. I'm not going to do it in a minute. I'll explain why in a minute. Spamming this kind of angle here gets people in dark spot if they're trying to peek, things like that. Spamming through straight on here and straight on here also. Angle slightly there, things like that. On the roof you want to kind of aim very shallow with this. Things like that. Now quickly, if you're standing, let's say, behind the vents, be warned that you can get hit just like you can in source. You take less damage, but you can spam straight through them. See? I'm going to need another AK. The kind of boxes here are all spammable, and that pretty much covers upper for the time being. I'm going to come back to it in a minute. Quickly going lower, I might as well, as I'm here. Dropping down, just like above, these little yellow barrels that cover the upper bomb site and down here. If you spam through two of them, like so, it's not going to work. It's not going to go through. So let's say if you're on this side or this side and the guy's the opposite side planting and you just want to spam him, it's not going to work. You have to come around to kill him, which gives them a little bit more time to stop the defuse and get a weapon out. So just be wary of that you can't spam through that. You can't spam through this either. It's just not spammable. However, these doors are just like squeaky and they destroy, so Just be conscious of that you don't want to be spamming them too often, because like let's say if you're behind them and you hear the guy defusing, you don't want to be spamming, let's say, this angle too much, because the door's just going to break and it's like, oh god, I've no cover left. That's not something I like with the new version of Go, unfortunately. Quickly I'm going to take an op. This kind of metal blast door here is spammable as well, but I wouldn't spam it this direction. It's just too difficult to get get a shot. The kind of shots that you want to be looking for are roughly here. I think that's roughly it. Not really. It's something like this anyway. Let me get it right. So if we go around like so, something like this. Yeah, I got maybe not. But that kind of stops the planter. There's another one kind of around here. I can't. They're very, very difficult shots, guys. So be warned about that. Other than that, on ramp, these wooden boxes here are spammable. So be warned about that. This big wooden box here is spammable. So just be careful of that. This box, however, here is not spammable. Straight through. You can't spam it straight through like such. It just won't work. However, you can spam through the corner. So if I go like this, maybe a bit more like, yeah, see. So just be warned that if you're sitting here waiting for them to come around, and you're like, I'm going to get them as they come around, I'm going to get them as they come around. Yeah, you might not, because if he stands here, you can't see him. He just has to spam through there and it'll go straight through and hit you. So be warned about that. The corners of this box are spammable, but so he can come around this like this, come around and go free fire, and these first bullets may hit you and just be the difference between you killing him and him killing you. These boxes are here spammable, so you don't want to be just crouching and hiding. You want to be constantly, I wouldn't say constantly moving, but just be conscious of the fact that you can get hit through them. The other spam spots, I'm just going to quickly do slightly easier ones as I'm out here. You can spam through here just like you used to be able to do the hit headshot box, but you want to be aiming more to the right, because you want to be aiming for this direction rather than this. So it's kind of roughly there. Gives you a little bit more cover, but you know what I mean. I'm kind of messing that up a bit, but there you go. You can hit him that direction. Now, shooting through here like you used to be able to doesn't really work as well. Don't think that's actually a bull at all. But just be warned that you used to be able to spam through that with an op, but you can't really compare it to source. Now, if I stand opposite this box like such, and aim just below, let's say, this railing here, and aim between, see this little rivet here and this little rivet, so 2 from the left, 1 from the right, in this general area, kind of around here. You can hit the guy planting on the upper side. And I'll show you now when I no-clip. So if I no-clip through, see what I mean? You can hit the guy planting. Now that's a very risky shot. It's very difficult. It's more luck than anything else. Now the same goes through the opposite direction. You can shoot him through the opposite direction. I kind of messed that one up. So something like that, and that will go, as you can see there, and it hit the guy around headshot box. So be aware that that is spammable too. That is only spammable with an op. The blast doors are only spammable really with an op. So be warned about that. I've covered the hut. I've got to do squeaky in a second. I've got to do these now, so I'm going to do these ones while I'm up here. You can spam through the floor. You can both ways, going down and going up. Now, as I said, some of these you don't want to be doing, let's say, if you're in a 1v1 situation or 1v2 and you hear the bomb going down, you don't want to be giving your position away in a place like that. Sometimes you might if you want to just for shits and giggles, but I wouldn't recommend using these in 1v1s and things like that. But if you stand on this kind of electrical wire, as my phone goes off, if you stand on this electrical wire here, see, let's say between this box and the electrical wires, if you measure, let's say 1/3, 2/3, 3/3, if you measure to the first third, which is roughly this kind of spot here, I think it is maybe, and if we go down through no clip, you can see where that hits. It's going to stop a planter if he's clung to it. If we go opposite this now, directly opposite, and directly opposite this kind of metal kind of nut or bolt or whatever you like to call it, and aim kind of around slightly off to the right and slightly, let's say 50%, halfway basically, so slightly roughly here. That kind of doesn't make sense slightly roughly. In there. Nope, wrong angle. My bad, I'm giving you bad information here. Sorry. Let me get this right. Maybe it wasn't off to the right. Maybe it's off to there. You can spam through there. Get the guy. You can kind of get the guys planting lower. That's a bit more difficult than the other one. Now, if the guy is planting here or around here, I have one from lower, and I'll show you that right now. These are handy to know as well, but as I said, they're more for just messing around. You don't want to be doing them in a game, an actual official match or anything. Okay, so if you measure these as boxes, 1, 2, 1, 2, and then this kind of area. So if you stand in the middle of the second box, and the middle of the concrete here, and aim, let's say, rough on this line, but roughly there. You don't want to be aiming on, let's say there, but it's something around here. If we go up, you can see where it's going to hit. It's going to hit him right there. So if you're standing, let's say here, planting, boom, you get shot through the ground. That's one of the easier ones. The other one's a bit more difficult. See this angle here, and then the angle, and then the line here. Basically, you want to be standing here. That's just to help you reference to see exactly where it is. So you want to be standing here. Look directly up, but not fully directly, because fully directly is there. Look up to roughly there. And that will get the guy planting there. Now he could sometimes be planting there or there or there, depending, you know. But this will more than likely be the most common spot for planting. So you can shoot through the floor. So you can shoot both ways through this, guys. Possibly the last one. I can't. Oh no, I've got to do squeaky. But this is the kind of like second last spot. You need an AK for this. You can do this with an AWP too, but it's a bit more difficult. If you stand on this box, maybe roughly in the corner, doesn't really matter, and aim kind of around this general area. I spam a couple of bullets. This will come through here, maybe a bit more left. I'm actually hitting those things there. But if you aim maybe a bit more left, I'll try it now again. Something like this, or maybe if I come out, change the angle slightly. If you come up like this, yeah, it's a bit better. You might hit the guy standing here in crows. Now the same goes the opposite direction too, but this is a very difficult one. I'd say 99 times out of 100 are not going to get a kill spamming through this direction on the guys in ramp. Now the same goes for, let's say, here as well. You can spam the ramp that way as well, I think, anyway. Yeah, kinda. And you can spam the rafters as well through this direction. So let me get this one correct. No, it's not there. Where is it again? Yeah, it's roughly to the left of that. So if you stand here and spam around there, you can get the guy standing watching the hut door. See? Maybe a bit more to the left, guys. Just maybe kind of, let's say if that's one spot and that's another spot and that's 50%, kind of go 30%. So maybe a quarter of the way or a third of the way from to the right of that. So if we go around to squeaky real quick, I'm just going to show you. I don't think I did this. Did I go in the opposite direction? These are handy kind of spam angles you can do. You can kind of break the vent there by aiming this direction. Other spam spots would be, let's say, there to get the guy standing next to the hut, and there standing next to the hut. Kind of crouched and aimed roughly here. You get the guy on crows, and on rafters you can get the guy there and aim roughly there, and it gets there. I'm not entirely sure of these ones. As I said, these are more kind of spammed rather than precision kind of spam spots. Now, coming around to squeaky real quick, this is probably the last spot. If you aim here, you should have heard that. It breaks the vent. Now, the problem with squeaky is squeaky breaks. So, I used to love squeaky, and I used to love just spraying through it and trying getting guys aiming this kind of angle here. If I open the door, not the angle, it's slightly changed. Aiming roughly there. As you can see, if I open the door, we'll get the guy standing there. You can spray through this kind of angle to get the guy on hanging around the vent on the opposite side, so through the vent and things. If you aim roughly there, if I come out, you can see you can get the guy standing here, slightly off to the angle like this. You can. I'm not going to spam it just because I'm going to break the blood thing, but you can get the guy standing there. Now, if you want to get the guy standing on what's it called, on hut, it's kind of around this angle. Bit more difficult. You kind of go on spray, let's say roughly along this kind of an angle like that. It's a very difficult one, but it can help out sometimes. Can even just like freak the guy out on hut and, you know, get off of hut. Now I think there's another one as my phone goes off again. Jesus. You can spam through there. It'll get the guy on rafters roughly there. There is no real easy way of getting the guy hit there because he's directly above you. The thing about Squeaky now is any little bit of damage will break it. Just breaks so easy, so spamming it is just going to be a major risk. And even just standing next to it is going to be very risky because the CTs only have to spam it a little bit and they can see you. It's like, oh shit, he can see me, get out of here. You know, it's like, if it's broken at all, it's going to be very, very hard to set up for, let's say, even just a late Squeaky or a late vent dive or a late push upper, because if it's broken they're going to see straight through. Now one little thing I'm going to show you quickly is something that I found out. Let's say you're coming from, I have to get a HE grenade, so give me a second guys. Give space weapon underscore HE grenade. Oops, spelt it wrong. Typing error. There we go. If you get a HE grenade, pull the pin, come along like this, keep running. It'll break Squeaky. You can run straight through without even having to open it. That is going to be absolutely amazing for Squeaky pushes. That little thing is, with Squeaky breaking, you don't even have to worry about it. Just run straight through with your AK or your M4 or whatever you have at the time. Even if it's just like a shotgun, if you're just messing, come through, boom, boom. Now the problem is, or I don't know if this is a problem, it might be a plus, because that's there blocking the angle. You can possibly just rush straight through because they're not going to be able to hit you. They're not even going to be able to see you. You can come straight through. That's just going to be so overpowered. The Squeaky rush now is just going to be so overpowered. Now granted you're going to waste a grenade, but it's just going to be so overpowered. Anyway guys, I hope this is informative. I hope a couple of these spam spots and things were helpful for you guys. So if you like these videos, please leave a comment or a like or whatever, and I'll continue to do them. I'm probably going to continue to do them because I enjoy doing these. And it's fun to learn new things about the different maps, and especially with the different aspects of the new game mechanics and things like that. So thanks for watching guys, I hope you liked them, and I'll see you in the next video.